What's up, everybody?
What's up? What's up?
Well, okay, we can't complain. Okay, we're not gonna complain that it's hot. We're just gonna deal with it.
I never complain that it's hot. You complain it's hot.
What?
When have you ever heard me complain it's hot?
All day.
Yeah.
Well, in reality, I complain because of the kids are complaining. So I'm speaking out for the kids. But we got an hour here for you guys. I know a lot of people have been messaging, asking about the videos, when the video's gonna be up. Can you see anything, John? Mine is black.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's good. It should be good.
Look.
Let's see.
Is yours working? I can get the messages though, so I'll read the messages. How's everybody doing today? We're really hot here.
See?
Not good. I didn't say it's a bad thing. We're just better than cold. Okay. We're getting a lot of stuff done actually this past few weeks. That's why we haven't posted much videos. But we do have new shipments coming in for you guys. We got more videos coming up soon. We're gonna do a stock video and extend the sale to Sunday. So yeah, bro, come on. A lot of these people.
Friday.
No, do it for Sunday for next week.
Huh?
A lot of these people, they didn't get to watch the videos, so they had a chance to watch the video. We're gonna do a stock video, and we just extend the sale to Sunday. Come on, bro, you gotta be nice to them.
Okay, so a lot of the stuff might be out of stock, so
yes.
I'm not going through and changing everything and updating again.
Look, Lord Roger David said, "Hello, Kevin. How are you doing and your family?"
We're doing fine. Thank you for asking.
Don't look at me. Look at them.
Oh, I don't even know where to look.
That one, right? It's for Kevin?
Yeah, Kevin's got that one.
All right, so I got to turn my chair a little bit this way. All right.
Cammy King. Hello, Rod and Kevin. Hello, Cammy. How are you? If you guys have any questions for us, we're here for you for an hour. Then we have to take the girls for boxing. Yeah. Mr. Payne, just talked to you about the Chili Red Oscars. Oh, thank you. Appreciate everything. $5 donation. Thank you, buddy. I remember talking to you. They're actually really nice. I want to grow a couple of those out.
Yeah.
Are we getting more soon, or?
I don't know. We tried like for 2 weeks in a row to get them, and they didn't come in, and then finally
They came in.
we got it. So it's not so easy.
Sanjay, your cousin, keeps asking, no member live? What's up with that?
He asked that last week, and then didn't we?
No, we didn't. We remember we got busy.
Oh, okay.
A lot of people were saying like, oh, we sign up and then we have less videos. It was just this past few weeks because we got a lot done here. But now we're gonna go back to it. Actually, John's coming back tomorrow. We're gonna do the stock video and we can do a members live as well because there's a lot that happened and we weren't even able to film these past few days. Will you bring Avery Fish Room? Will you bring in Diamondback Sturgeon anytime soon? Yes, we'll have them for next week. We should have them around 5 inches, and some a little bit bigger. But hopefully by next week we'll have them in stock. Fejai, when are we getting more alligator guys?
Which kind? The regular ones?
Yeah.
I don't know. We were offered it, but the size was a little bit too big for us to bring in, meaning the price and the freight would have cost too much, so it didn't make sense. I mean, we can bring it in. It was offered to us, but I don't think it would make sense.
You said regular ones. Why? We have different ones coming in?
The platinum ones.
So if you're looking for platinums, what size?
I think they're about like anywhere between 8 to 12 inches, somewhere in that range. I'm not sure yet.
8 to 12 inches platinum alligator gars. We should have them here hopefully next week. Dave the fish dude said, hope all is well, Rod and Kevin. Do you think everything is well, or what's going on with you?
Yeah, things are, like you said, moving along. We've been doing a lot of things and just trying to catch up. We're falling behind because once we started moving on some other projects, we started falling behind a little bit on like tank maintenance stuff.
And videos
so
as well.
I'm trying, and then we fell behind on the videos. It's hard. I mean, we thought it would be easier with the two of us together, but we actually like made a lot more work for ourselves as well. So
It's because it's the beginning. Once we have everything set up in place and running like it should, then it should be easier for us. When we're in separate facilities, we always discuss, we should make it easier when we're together. But starting from zero, it's always a pain. So it's going to be, I'll say, probably another year of this hard work.
yeah, and you know, I have trust issues, and you know, to hand off like taking care of the fish and all that stuff, it's a little bit hard for me to do.
Trust issues, but even though yourself also makes mistakes.
Yes. So, because there's too many stuff going on, you know.
So you don't trust yourself either.
Exactly. That's why I always go and check the door like a million times.
Yes, you do. But we're trying to figure out like when we could travel, and that was one of the things. You know, if we can leave the girls working, taking care of the place. We even discussed maybe not shipping for a few weeks, because if we go to Asia, you said it's 3 days at least of travel, right?
Yeah, back and forth.
So it's not worth to go for a week. You
Hell
have to
no.
go for at least
No.
2 weeks or more.
Yeah. I mean, the right time frame would be like 3 weeks if we're trying to get a lot done. I mean, if you're going for vacation, then yeah, a few days, a week is enough. But we're also want to go to all different places, film, and you know, maximize on it.
So Glass New York City just said, I think I want to answer this question because I think I know. Hey, Rod, I got my Cross River today. Thanks for doing what you did. I appreciate it. Also, is it normal for them to come in just a bit skinny? Yes, because you have to purge them before, right? So they don't poop in the bag.
Close.
Right?
Close.
Something like that.
No, but that was right.
That's the right
I'm
answer.
learning.
But in this situation, what it was they had came in not too long ago. So usually fresh imports, they're more skinny. If the fish
they
had
were
been
eating,
here,
though.
yes, they're all eating. He didn't say they weren't eating. They were already eating. Sometimes these fish, especially specialty fish, they've been at the overseas facilities for a long time, and depending on, sometimes they're not as on top of like feeding the fish and taking care of it, so they do
agree.
get skinny.
I agree, but I saw every single one that came in. There was only 2 skinny. So I think for what he's saying in particular is makes more sense of like, I was not feeding for 3 days and the fish should look a little skinnier.
The skinny that we're talking about is skin and bones skinny.
Yeah.
But I understand what he's talking about. They are on the slimmer side, but don't worry, they'll fatten up. Just feed them once a day, twice a day, and they come back around pretty quickly.
Sweet. Got a bunch of members in the chat, too. That's awesome.
I know.
A whole
Scally
bunch of
whiskey.
different colors popping up.
Bro, just sent in a few weeks ago, and Rod's still talking about traveling. Yes. Yes, we need to get out of here.
You know whose name we haven't heard in a while? Sean. What happened to him? He used to be in
Sean.
all the lives too and everything.
I know. We didn't appreciate him enough, so he said, screw this.
Is he pissed at us?
Bring back albino koi guppies. Guppy Town Aquatics.
Okay.
How come we didn't get any more guppies?
those red and white ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a hit and miss item for us. The first time we got it, it sold out real quick. The second time we got it, I think it sat for a little bit. So then, I think after that, I just
And
didn't
guppies
want-
are a little more delicate too, right? They don't they need like aged water, and
yeah.
I think we were having problems with them doing water.
They're a
changes
little bit
every
more
day.
sensitive, and when we get them, we have to get a lot. So that's another problem.
Restream bot. I guess that one from Facebook, from Carlos De La Torre. Hi from Pennsylvania. Thank you so much for making this great show. You're welcome.
It's Carlos.
Thank you. Oh, it's Carlos?
That's Carlos. Yeah.
Thank you, Carlos. But so Glass Aquatics saying I'll fed him up and add a dose of Prazi. We treated them already.
I think yes. Well, we start the treatment right away once they come in.
So
But
would you
I think
recommend?
they were here. We started sending them out after like 4 or 5 days. So usually Prazi, a full treatment of Prazi, a good one is about 10 days. But it doesn't hurt for him to treat it.
Okay.
see.
Dave the Fish Dude said, I know it's easier said than done, but you guys definitely deserve a vacation. We do. It's just hard because, like, if we're not here, then it's hard to, like, have the business up and running, especially at the stage that we're in right now. And then we also have the kids, right? Before, when we went to Asia, I had no kids. Always stayed behind with the girls. Now, if we go to Thailand, everybody has to go, and then Lisa and Ryan and Luke,
It's tough.
Lisa wants to go, so what we do with her?
It's tough for you. For me, it's a little bit easier now that the kids are older. But also it costs a lot more money now because now it's tickets for 4 people and accommodations for 4 people.
And kids pay full price, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, Luke won't have to pay. He's under 2. But it's tough to travel with an infant too, especially overseas. Like different time zones and
You know, the right thing is Lisa should stay.
exactly.
But go tell. She's probably watching this. Go tell her
She's
that.
coming right now.
She already told me she stays. She's going to Jersey to her sister's house
Yeah.
because it's too hot here. What about John? John has to go because he's got to film.
Yep.
Unless you go and I stay.
What's the point in that?
Well, you can't just enjoy away in the girls.
Oh, for vacation, yeah, but
If
we
we
want to
do the fish,
maximize
yeah.
it too. Yes. I mean, how can you go there and not film? There's so many things that you can do.
Reef and Fisherman, what do you guys feed the baby golden dorado? Literally anything you want. Pellets, chopped food. They will eat anything.
Put some peanut butter on your finger and stick it in the tank. They'll eat that too.
They'll probably eat that too, yeah. Lisa, hello from Connecticut. Hello, Lisa. How are you? So Gabriel was asking, can you guys get Aymara? We always get them, right? Not always.
Not
but-
always.
Whoa, can they add it to this order coming in or no?
I can ask, but it's probably too late.
Maybe 1 or 2? What size are you looking for? What's up, buddy? Come here. Hey, what you got in your mouth? Oh, he started going to daycare. Say hi.
Oh, hi. Oh, no. Dada.
What happened, buddy?
Mommy.
Mommy was being mean to you?
Hey, mommy.
I know, she's mean to me too.
Hey, mommy. Oh? Hey, mommy.
Say hello, everybody.
Hey, what? Dada. Want to go away?
Boy was taking care of you. You look sweaty. Sue Ann said, how's Ryan doing with daycare? He's actually doing pretty good.
Oi? No.
You like school?
No, oi.
You like Oi?
No, oi. San, oi.
Everything is oi.
Oi. Oh?
You wanna go see mommy?
No, mommy.
What about sores? You like sores?
Shoes? No,
What?
shoes.
No sores? You wanna hide?
He hide. How hide? Or no hide?
It's like he knows exactly what he's saying. We don't.
Oh? No. Huh?
All right, Kevin, why don't you answer this question?
Which one?
Are you guys going to stock out more species of nanofish? Hey, no screaming, okay?
Oh?
Not in the immediate future, right? Later on, once we're more settled down
Oh?
and we have more available tank space, then we can start venturing out and stocking different types of things that, will make us a more well-rounded store. But for now, we focus on what we know.
Dad?
Okay, CB Music has a shipping question. When I buy, you ship, but do I pick up from the airport or does FedEx or UPS pick it up from the airport and deliver it to our house? When you buy from us, we ship it UPS, so it will actually get delivered to your door, provided that you're in the U.S. If you're overseas, that's a whole different animal. But sometimes, depending on what you order, if it's a very big fish that requires a much larger box, then we might arrange to do airport shipping, in which case you have to go to the airport and pick it up yourself, which is it's not a very difficult process, and we can explain to you how to do it. It's fairly simple.
Better for the fish, to be honest with you.
It is. It's less stress. You know, we try to pick the most direct flight, so the box doesn't get tossed around.
Ron C donated $9.99. Thank you, Ron. I appreciate it. Can you get juvenile Rosemary pikes? I think the smallest size that we ever got was probably what we have in right now, right?
Yeah, maybe
About
the smallest.
8 inches. But not like the Zabrinas where they're like tiny little ones. No, we would never be able to get those. But yeah, it would have been nice. Any Suriname Piraibas coming soon? I'm working on the Piraibas, the true ones, because sometimes people sell them as Piraibas, but they're not. And then you have another type of catfish coming in.
Oh, yeah, the Dorados. Is that what you're talking about?
We definitely got to keep some of those too. That's, I think, one of my favorite fish. I like the ones that have the rounded face, because once they grow, they look like a horse. You know, with that chrome look.
Yeah, you see.
Ross Baltimore, yes, I got your email. I don't know what happened. We can be honest here. How many of them didn't make it? The blue Tetracongos, they're the blue eye ones. They're really fragile. So like I've had an incident where I think if UPS mishandled the box, they're very hard to make it. But we didn't get time to reply to all the emails today because we're busy packing. So we'll definitely take care of it. I don't have any more left, so we're probably gonna have to do is either do the refund for you or wait to the next shipment so we can ship more out again.
Yeah, and it could also been heat. You know, I'm not sure how hot it was.
100 something boxes yesterday.
Yes.
He can't just be that his box was the only one that got the heat.
Oh, no. But it also depends. Like, we shipped to Arizona, like Vegas, where it was over 100 degrees. But I did, like, specialized packing for that. So if his temperature was, like, 80 something, like high 80s, but we probably just did ice.
I also noticed on this fish, there's something with them that even grabbing them with the net and then you put it back in the tank, they kind of swim. They're not,
funny. Yeah.
they're not like super strong fish.
But I think a lot of tetras, I've seen that before, like with cardinal tetras and neon tetras, right? When you mishandle them too much, yeah, they stress out and it just happens. And sometimes if the box got overly tossed around by UPS, that freaks them out. But you know, we'll work it out.
Gabriel Treviso said, "If you order tomorrow, I'll buy ASAP." put in the works. Come on.
Okay. How about I just put it on the website and you order it first?
He'll probably do it too. Kev, when do you get more stingrays in? Missing your knowledge and skills on stingrays. He's being lazy. That's the truth of the matter. Kevin's being lazy.
Yes,
he gained
very
weight.
lazy.
He's too hot. He doesn't want. He just wants to pack fish now and talk about his specializing packing skills.
No, it's not that. We just have to get things more stable and running before I can get back into that. Because that's a whole breeding program, and it needs a lot of my time. So it's either my time's going to be there or it's going to be here. So
right.
One thing or the other is going to suffer. And at this point, this generates the income, so we need to focus here. The stingray breeding, yes, of course, when I produce the babies, I can sell it and whatever, but it takes a long time.
But you're also telling me, like in California, each baby costs you what, $200-$300 to produce?
Yeah, about 300.
So now our bills are higher, right?
Yep.
Let's say you probably cost the same thing, maybe a little more.
Well, no, it's going to cost more now because I had more rays before and my whole facility
together
so it was producing more, which leveraged down the costs, right? But so now with less amount of rays, the cost to produce is higher.
So in reality, what do you think we're gonna have to do? Breed the top-notch rays and just import the other ones?
Probably what I'll do is I'll just focus on specialty projects, like stuff that I want to do for me, you know, and then I'll share with everyone. I don't know yet. You know, interesting hybrids.
I know you like the snow leopards,
albinos,
right?
Yes. Snow leopards. Like I had all these different projects going on back then, and a lot of those projects got broken up because either I would lose the male or lose the female or whatever. So I might just start everything over from scratch. All new breeding programs. Go sourcing animals and just start from scratch.
So if you did that, what would be your number one pick?
I don't know yet. I gotta go because I haven't been following what's going on out there, but I would always choose something that what's the word, to my liking. Like, okay, so probably I've always liked those big spot type of rays, so we'll do something like that. I've always liked like noodle and line pattern stuff, so maybe I'll focus on that. The platinum breeding project, that's still here, so that's fine. But I haven't been giving it my fullest attention to get them into breeding condition. So I mean, there's a lot to deal with. Some type of crazy albinos.
I see $20.
From who?
I didn't see from who yet.
Norman Fujioka.
Fujioka, $20. And then we also got Deadwood, Swedish krona, donated 100 Swedish krona, which is about $9 or $10 US.
Thank you,
appreciate
everybody.
that. Appreciate that, you guys.
Norman, are you in Hawaii? I remember somebody with the name in Hawaii. They ordered luteus for us in Florida, and I think I sold out.
What are we talking about?
A guy named Norman. So I was wondering if it was this one.
Okay. Did you see Kayla Cody Miller says, have you ever seen a piebald blue catfish? My grandfather fishes and has caught 2 in the last year. To us, it's rare to see that, as these are the only 2 he's caught his entire life. Well, if you catch another one, let us know. We'll come get it. But we've seen photos of it. I've never seen one live.
I think I've seen photos too. So Norman is from Hawaii. So it was you that I think got the luteus, and then we didn't have it at the time, right? Now we have like a lot of them.
Yeah, we have a lot now, Norman. So
I can get you luteus now. Sue said, good memory. I remember, like, I don't remember names very well, but I remember faces and like if something happened and how, you know, the situation took care of it. I think it was we were moving, and then he bought the 2 luteus that we had when we were in Florida, and something happened. They died, and he waited for the longest time, and finally he just said, if you can just do the refund, and I did the refund. But he was very nice about it, you know.
he was very patient, right?
Yeah,
He waited a
yeah.
long time.
Yeah, I even forgot about it for the longest time until he reminded me. Adrian Stewart, hi guys from Barbados. Love watching your videos. Thanks, I appreciate it, man. I used to have an employee from the moving company. They were from Barbados. It's a beautiful island. When are you getting more Arapaima coming?
Oh, you know what? That reminds me. It's been in the works. I actually messaged him last week. He said, you know what? I'll message him right now.
You should message Louisa for Daimara, just to see if she can get it. Oh, no, Louisa,
it's not-
Antonia.
The paperwork is already set. They can't change it. I'll ask.
And Peru, right?
Mm-hmm.
Arapaimas come from Peru. What
Yep.
about Colombian Arapaimas?
Yeah, I had it lined up too, but because we already had it going with Peru.
But do you think they're the same type?
No, because the one time that we bought it from Colombia, I think they were much nicer.
So we should
But
try
they were
that.
also a lot more money. More than double. So
Why do Jaws take so long to grow? They shouldn't, Zane. Are you keeping them in a large tank with a lot of food? Jaws should be just like red tails and grow pretty fast.
Somebody asked, how's your shark egg doing? From Facebook.
Shark is doing pretty good. Can hand feed him. The reason why we got him is because we wanted to start learning and growing him from when the 12,000 is ready. So then we can just put him in a bigger tank. But right now, very easy animal to maintain. It pretty much eats everything. One thing that we learned from Jonathan from Country Critters was not to feed him too much shrimp. Right? Don't know why. There's some chemical in the shrimp that if they eat too much of it.
no, it was they were saying that the diet of just shrimp wasn't well rounded enough. Same thing, reason like why we're using.
Didn't
the
he say
silver
there was
side.
something inside the shrimp that
No, because they were
there?
no. He was just doing shrimp, and they switched to silver sides because it has the gut and the head and all that, and it provided a more well-rounded diet. There was probably some missing nutrients that maybe the shark needed, and over time their body used it up, and they need it.
So
It's
we
just like
feed
we
them.
need iodine.
I think he was talking about the shark egg. Actually, he said
Oh, is
Oh, the shark egg.
Yeah, but
Oh,
the
he's
shark
not
goes
eating
hand in
anything.
hand.
He's eating the yolk. We haven't put the light on him in a long time, so hopefully soon we'll do a checkup. But
Yeah.
for what I could learn from the shark eggs, because we had 4, when there's nothing in it or if they die, the egg on itself on the outside starts turning white, almost like a fungus cover on it. So that one still looks pretty good, which I'm hoping that you go through all the way.
So it also said, we're so grateful to you all for rehoming our huge albino catfish. It was loved and fed well.
Oh, you're welcome.
We felt
Trying to
loved.
find more kois for you guys.
Let's see.
So Avery Fish Room said, I have a Jow cat that's a 1.5 years old, has only grown maybe 5 inches. I think Jows are slow growers. I had Jows before and they grew fast. Are they true Jows? Because they turn massive.
A lot of times, the rate that a fish grows, it really depends on the tank conditions, how often you're feeding it. All those things play into it. It's same thing like with the stingrays. If I feed it less, it doesn't really grow. I can keep a stingray at a small size for an extended period of time, and then once you start feeding it more, it starts taking it off. It starts taking off. So maybe you have to look back and see how often you're feeding it and what you're feeding it, and that might make the difference.
Somebody said, when picking up from the airport, how do we know what day and time? Do I get an email from the airport? And also, how's the huge tank coming along?
We will give you the airway bill, right? So you keep track of the shipment using the airway bill and going to either Delta or Southwest. And then you can see when he's going to arrive. We'll also let you know when you arrive. But that's the only way. And then when you go pick up, you just show your ID. But Canada, we usually ship UPS overnight.
And then he also said, is the flash sale going on? Still.
Yes, we're going to keep it into Sunday. So take advantage of it because I don't know how much fish are left. But we'll do a stock video tomorrow for you guys with everything that's left that's on sale. As far as the big tank, we got 2 big tanks on the work. One, it's a surprise that we'll let everybody know pretty soon. And the other one is a 12,000 gallon that we had in Florida. It's costing us $18,000 to put it back together, which we debated a lot if we're gonna put it back together or not, if we're gonna sell it. But then we decided to put it together and make it saltwater so we can get sharks and eels and stingrays and those types of fish. Like that's how we got the zebra sharks. So we can have both. We can have a giant freshwater tank and a giant saltwater tank. Sylvester saying the big round 5500 look amazing. And a your LA facility. Well, actually, that one was in our Florida facility.
Yeah.
Will you ever get one like that? No, the one we have is going to be over double that because it's going to be 12,000. So I think the sharks are going to have plenty of space to swim. I'm excited to get in and make videos with them and learn from these animals as well.
What do you feed the red tail the most? I've been giving him tilapia twice a day. Just did not know if you mix up the food every once in a while.
It's good to mix
Josh
it up,
Phillips.
like what Kevin was saying. Like we have the silver sides, right, that we feed at least twice a week to all the fish here, just because it has the guts, pretty much every nutrient, inside of a fish. When you do this tilapia, you're only doing the meat, or when we do just the silver sides with no head, no guts, you're also just doing the meat. And you want to give your fish a variety of food. Like how many days can Vijay eat chicken nuggets consistently without having anything else?
Yeah, we got to mix some Coke in there and some French fries. Got to well-round it out.
He's talking about Coca-Cola, okay?
Somebody just said in your previous videos, Kev, you eat a lot of burgers, especially in your car. Do you still do that?
That was in that video.
Vijay, let's be honest here. You're doing fast food almost every day.
No.
Yes, don't lie to yourself.
It depends. If we're on the go, then the only time we have to eat is like when we're driving or whatever, right? So I actually do a lot of my eating while driving. Yeah, I don't waste time.
I want to ask Oi. I want to ask Oi if you're doing fast food almost every day.
When will there be true red terrors in stock?
We're trying to get them. Hopefully soon.
I'm curious. Why is it the word true attached to it? Are there fake red terrors?
I'm sure some
I think
people
there's
sell
just-
red terrors that are not red terrors.
Yeah. So, I mean, if it's a red terror, it's a red terror. If other people sold other fish calling them red terrors, then they're just being dishonest sellers.
But that's why they want to make sure it's a true red terror.
Versus
A non-red terror.
So, because when you say it like that, then people start thinking, oh, if I just get red terror, then it's not real. It has to be true red terror. You know, it's like the Piriba, right? A lot of people use the copper petrum and they sell it as Piriba, and then we eventually started saying, oh, true Piriba, right? But then you're gonna get those idiots that say true Piriba from Peru, which is copper petrum.
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately, a lot of people do generate names that help them sell their own fish, which I think is wrong. It confuses the information out there.
So, Jacob, to answer your question, we'll try to get them hopefully soon. But we have a lot of shipments coming in that is probably going to use a lot of our tanks. So we're going to just have to figure out when we can add the true red terrors in there, because they probably need a tank on their own.
There was one like hanging around here for a while. I don't know if it's still out there.
No, I haven't seen it.
There was one. It was like this silver, it had a little like some bands and a little black dot by the end of the tail, right? Is that there was
But they
one
don't
here.
really look that pretty when they're little.
No.
but once they grow. Asan Carbai said it's okay to keep a silver one in a 60-gallon. If it's a small one, it'll be okay for a little bit, but eventually they do need a bigger tank. Ross Baltimore finally found a fish live stream for Thursdays. Yeah, Thursday was the only way that would work for us.
Why everyone else is like Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
I don't know. Maybe that's the only day that he can watch too. Oh, some people are selling Mayan cichlids, a red terror,
Okay.
which it makes sense because in Florida there's a lot of them in the wild, and they kind of look like red terrors.
Okay.
How many gallons does the Pyara need at their size right now?
75 is fine. The red tails, I mean, the red tails don't grow as big as the Armadas, and they came in really good. They're eating frozen already, right?
Yeah.
Do the red tails, the red tail Pyaras do good in shipping?
Yes.
Elton Delise says.
We have to make sure it's a specialized shipping, like
You have to
they got-
know how to ship it,
Yeah.
and they'll do fine. Yeah.
How about a couple beers to cool down? Well, Lewis, Fajai doesn't drink. I have to go do boxing. Actually, I have to watch the kids after this while the girls do boxing class, and then I have to go do a kickboxing class, and then hopefully I'll be able to go to the gym after that. What about you, Fajai?
I'll be here feeding the fish.
Feeding the fish.
Okay, well, talking about feeding the fish, Glass NYC is asking, what are we feeding the Cross Rivers right now?
Shrimp
They are
and cut fish,
eating
right?
eating cut fish and cut shrimp. Okay.
Have you seen those? What is it? White firemouth
Firemouth what?
cichlids?
White ones, like albino ones?
Weren't people selling some of those before?
I've
Was there-
seen. I know they came out with it, an albino
They look
version
really
of
nice.
a firemouth cichlid. Yeah.
Calcio is asking, what's the date for the next Stingray shipment? Is it Wednesday?
Next week. It'll be here next week.
Next week. How
Yep.
many boxes?
The whole shipment, I think, is like 20 boxes.
2?
20. But it's not all Stingrays, but the whole shipment is 20 boxes.
Okay. You don't need any extra muscles moving stuff around the shop? We do.
See, are you local?
We just don't know what days. Fajai is gonna eat a burger, Robert.
Yeah.
Probably. Literally, Wendy's is right across the street.
I don't like Wendy's. That's the good thing.
What? Since when? Since like 2 minutes ago?
No. No, I don't like Wendy's. I've never liked Wendy's.
John.
If it was a Burger King across the street, then there'd be trouble.
So-
But the chicken nuggets, I think out of all the fast foods, the chicken nuggets at Wendy's, I think is is the best.
You don't like
Okay.
Wendy's, but I see
The
you
burger,
eating it all
the
the
Wendy's
time.
burgers? No, you
No,
never.
not the burger. Chicken nuggets.
Because the girls are buying it, and I just grab it as I go. Right, I walk by, I grab one. I walk by and I grab one.
For somebody looking to get back into the fish keeping hobby, what would be the best monster fish for a beginner monster fish keeper, as we've only kept and bred African cichlids?
There's so much.
Arowanas are fairly easy. You just got to make sure they don't jump. Red tails are fast grower. They're very personable. They'll eat out of your hand. But, a lot of people buy these animals and they don't have the right setup. So we do sell them. We do promote them. But just make sure you think about the future as well. So you're not overloading Ohio Fish Rescue, or including ourselves too, rescuing fish just because they outgrow the tank. You got to think long term.
How long does the L600 take to grow out?
Those are slow growing.
I've never grown. I don't think they're that slow, but we've never like really focused on trying to
Growing
grow with them. We just maintain them.
Honestly, I think every fish, if you're giving them fresh water all the time and you keep feeding them, they'll grow faster than the fish that you don't change water as much. Hence the fish from the ones that we rescue
Which one?
in the Bronx.
Okay.
What's his name? I forgot his name.
Nest.
Nestor.
Yes.
Yes. So they were huge, right? And they were on a 500-gallon tank, and they were huge. But he had
His water quality
a
is good.
stream of
Yeah.
water coming in nonstop. So the fish don't really know how big their environment is. Will you build a new aquarium? If so, how big? Well, Fajai used to build aquariums, right?
Yeah.
What's the biggest aquarium you ever built?
It was for back then it was like huge for me. Now it's like not that big. It was a 10 by 6 or 10 by 5 by 4 feet.
So someone here said, "Hey, I want you to build me a tank.
Okay.
Can you do it?
Yeah, I can do it.
Any size?"
Not any size, with up to the limit of what we can carry and manipulate the tank, right? Because we don't have the equipment to do like giant tanks, because you have to flip them. So you have to have the lifts or the hoists and stuff like that. But by hand, yeah, I think a 10 or 12 foot would be our max.
But it has to be the size of the sheet, right? Because you won't be able to put two sheets side by side.
Yeah, no, I don't have the equipment for that. So depending on the length of the sheet available.
How many 8 to 9 inch paddlefish are left?
How
None.
many?
None.
And I'll tell
They're
you-
all bigger than that now.
Really?
8 to 9.
Well, they're probably still on the
10 to
website.
12. No, I think.
And I'll tell you another bad news. I don't think we're gonna get them this year. So whatever's left is left. What's the most impressive home aquarium you guys have ever seen?
For me, not many, because I never go to people's homes.
Fajai has no friends.
Yeah.
No, we did see one in a garage. Remember in LA? That was pretty impressive.
It was impressive for the animal, not for the tank.
No, the other one. The other one's pretty big,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, maybe.
I think the 3,000, but he wasn't in a house. He was in a warehouse. That to me was impressive when I first saw it.
I'm just gonna do some videographer shit real quick. If you guys want, just hit the like button for us. It actually helps out with the YouTube algorithm. It helps with the viewership and to show people, show YouTube that you guys like the content. So if you guys are enjoying it so far, just if you could hit that like button, that would help us out a lot. And we hope you guys are enjoying it so far.
John, we know what we should do too. When you add in the videos, whatever like mistake or bloopers that you find, you should just save it, and we'll use it here.
I know
talk about it.
we were saying that last week. I'll set that up for next week.
Because I
That'll
tell you
be
what,
funny.
every time we have a promo to do or like a commercial, I screw up every single time. Like sometimes I cannot remember what I have to say to save my life. So a lot of times we'll do it over and over and over again, and obviously I'll end up cursing at that point and losing my cool. But I think a lot of times, you see the final product, but going through it, I remember I had to do one, and we totally forgot about it. I think it was before John was here. And Lisa and I went home, and we left the kids sleeping and went in the middle like of where we lived there, and we had to film at 3 a.m. And I was so tired, I could not remember the words that I had to say. So she's holding the camera, and then she would go on and say what I had to say, and I would just repeat it, and then she would go off and on again, say what I had to say. Oh my God, it was the worst. But we did it, and it worked. It's just a lot go on behind the scenes that you guys don't get to see. John Stride, my Savini order from you guys showed up today, and he's definitely showing my other geophagus who's the boss. I wasn't expecting him to be so big. That's a good thing, though. Usually, we try to match up the sizes. Sometimes it might be just a hair bigger, sometimes it might be a hair smaller, but we try our best to do on the size. I did screw up yesterday.
What happened?
Remember, there was 2 rosemary pikes, and I was talking to a customer, but it was always your fault too.
Did he get it? Did he call you?
Yeah, he called
said it was
me.
too big.
He said he was afraid I was going to eat his fish.
That's how you do it.
But that was your fault. I'll tell you what.
No.
We had so many boxes to ship yesterday, and I remember talking to someone about a rosemary pike, and he asked me for a bigger female. And as we were doing the boxes yesterday, I only saw one rosemary pike box. So I figured, okay, it gotta be this guy. So I packed the biggest, female that we had.
But it
And what
wasn't him.
happened? What happened?
It wasn't him.
No, but why we only
What?
had...
It doesn't matter.
Oh, of
though.
course it matters.
No, it doesn't matter.
Of course. See,
because you have
he
to
never
look at the name.
accepted that he's wrong.
If you're packing an order, you should look.
Wait. He forgot 30 to 40 orders at his house.
Yes, when we
that he
printed out the
So I didn't know the name of the guy. I just knew he asked for a big female.
But it was also in the notes.
Well,
because that's why when I
tell
read
you
it,
what,
I saw it in the notes.
He's
too.
happy that he came in. He looks beautiful. And we talk about his fish, and it's great. But it was a lot bigger than what he ordered.
It was bigger to the point where we had to upgrade the box.
Yeah,
and we covered
paid
the
more for
difference
shipping,
in the
yep.
freight.
Just to make him happy. Sylvester, I don't even know what type of money this is. Hey, Jed, you know? It looks
No.
pretty cool, though. Thank you, Sylvester. Appreciate it.
What is it? Does that say INR?
No, it just says, like, some cool symbol.
Let's see.
Oh. CB Musa, I see Lisa and Luke. Luke's getting old. Luke's getting long. Oh, yeah. Feijai has been saying that Luke looks like Lisa, right? Mm-hmm. Correct?
Yes.
With darker hair.
Just
Still
her
got
facial
blue eyes.
features. He looks. He
And
looks
then
like
he thinks
Lisa.
Ryan looks more like me and has my personality, which is, he's screwed.
It's Indian rupees. That's what it is.
Appreciate it. Have you been to India before?
Yes, once.
And you didn't take me?
Did I know you back then? I think
No.
I knew you.
No. We met when you were going to Peru.
I don't remember. It was all around
And you
that
called
time.
me. You called me to be a bodyguard, and I said I couldn't do it.
I called you to be a translator.
Bodyguard. The truth was a bodyguard. So Feather Mix said Indian rupee is in US $120. Thank you.
I think it's about 12.
He said, okay,
Yeah,
so
I
maybe
think we misplaced the
dot.
decimal. But still, regardless of anything, we appreciate you guys even just watching. Thank you so much.
Hey, Jai, that's not the only time that you wanted me to be your bodyguard.
I don't remember.
Remember what happened at JFK?
Oh, yeah. I got into a fender bender with Lisa's car, and then the guy was real nice about it, and he was like, "Oh, okay, we'll exchange information, this and that." And all of a sudden, all these other truckers come in, and they don't mind their own business. And he's like, "No, I saw what happened. No way!" And they all started defending the other guy, and then all of a
And
sudden,
they
the
were
other
circling
guy,
with you, right?
yeah, and then all of a sudden, that guy becomes a tough guy now. No, hell with that. I'm not covering this, and he just goes off and off and off.
So the funny part is we were trying to get the shipment. It's high. We want to make sure the fish is gonna live. And then Fajai goes, "Hey, go to that ramp, just wait over there and I'll wait over here because we don't know which ramp is gonna come out. So I back up my truck into one ramp, and I'm sitting there waiting, and I hear he calls me. He's like, "Hey, can you come over here? These guys are ganging up on me." So then I'm like, "Oh crap," So then I get on the truck, and I drive to where he was, and I see like him with like 6 guys around him, like a circle. So I'm like, "Oh, we're about to get beat up today." So I have an F450, so I sped up, got all the smoke everywhere, and I got out of the car. I got out of the truck screaming already, but I was trying to just intimidate them, but at the same time pretend I was mad at him. I was like, "What the fuck?" I went off, and then you kind of see them walking away a little bit, and I'm like, "That's my wife's car," and I start going nuts, and then I start going on the other guy, and I was like, "What happened?" And he's like, "Oh no, he was too close, and Kevin's like, "I was behind you, you should have just beeped, I hung," and this and that. So finally, after arguing with this guy for about 30 minutes, I looked at Kevin, I said, "How far were you from the truck?" And he looked at me and said, "About a foot." I'm like, "Oh yeah." And it's your fault. I didn't want to say it's your fault, but the guy was backing. What happened is
No, he was going forward.
he was going forward,
And then he stopped.
and then he stopped, and then he started reversing.
backing. Yes.
But Kevin is right there, and maybe because he was tired, you didn't honk.
No, I didn't.
You
honk.
didn't back up. You just stayed there. So, at least his car is really short.
I was gonna reverse, but then there was a car behind me.
Right, so you should at least honked. So Lisa's car is really short. So as a truck driver, you're looking back in the mirror. You can't see that car, especially when Fejai is a foot away. So his tire went over her bumper. So deep inside, I used to drive trucks. I'm like, all right, it's Fejai's fault.
But the thing is, he never even looked.
Yeah, of course.
He went. It's basically like if you were making.
He did look, but he couldn't see the car.
No, he didn't look. If you were making a K turn, once you go and you're gonna reverse and go. That's basically what he was doing. I thought he was pulling out and leaving, but he went forward, and I was going, following alongside him, waiting for him to continue to go forward. But then he didn't. He broke, and then immediately he started reversing and turning his wheel.
Look, when you have the cabin here, the body of the truck is on the way. So like, if your car is so close, he's looking at that mirror, he doesn't see the car right there. Because I used to drive trucks, so you were too close. No. But I didn't want to say it to him that it was your fault.
Okay, if he truly did not see, he wouldn't have stopped, because he wouldn't have felt the car. Okay, he started back. You know how sometimes a lot of people is natural.
He feels weird though.
It's natural to start backing up and then look. You start rolling.
I mean, he could have been wrong too, but
he started rolling.
I think you're in the wrong because you're too close and you didn't honk. And I don't want to say the Fejai was close, but we were arguing with the guy. I was telling him it could have been a kid in there. He could have run over a kid, to make sure like nobody was gonna say anything. But it was funny because they look like vultures on top of him. Right before I come in, they look like vultures on top of him, and then everybody went away.
See,
it was
the
the end
thing
of
is,
it. But Lisa's car is still messed up, by the way.
He knew he was wrong. That's why before those guys came, he was like, "Okay, we'll take care of it. We'll exchange information. I got it covered. We'll cover it."
He's wrong for hitting you.
Yeah.
But I think a foot away is not the proper distance.
He immediately started backing up, and then as he was rolling, then he looked, and then he saw, and then he stopped.
Yeah.
All right, so 01DK had a question because it's 1:30 a.m. and I feel bad. He said what's the smallest stingray, right? The smallest fully grown stingray you could have, freshwater stingray? I'm trying to find his exact comment, but what's the smallest fully grown stingray for freshwater?
Smallest fully grown stingray.
Yep.
So why don't you say about what we talked about last time? All these hybrid stingrays are to the point where they're not big like they're in the wild. Yes.
Well, I'll answer his question the way he asked it. There are different species out there that are smaller. Some are bigger, some are smaller, right? Motoros can be like one of the biggest species out there. There's Otorongos that are giant, tiger rays. But there's the, the reticulated stingray that are smaller, or bigniais are smaller. These are naturally occurring stingrays. But just because they're smaller in comparison to the other ones, which are massive, but they still can reach to about 15 to 16 inches. So do we still consider that small? No, it's still a decent sized fish, especially when you're talking 16-inch diameter. That's still a big fish. But those would be like the smaller of the species compared to all the other ones.
What about the mini marbles?
The mini marbles, I mean, like I've said it many times, I never believe in
But I've had it where they were 12, 14 inches producing pups.
Yes. Okay, but doesn't mean that the fish can't grow. I think it can still grow. It's just producing at a younger age. Maybe wherever they come from, they just come from an area where they're like trapped, and there's more inbreeding where their size starts to get smaller. It's same thing like with the breeding of any other type of animal. Minis start to pop up as you breed them more and more generations, right? And so that's what you were trying to say before with other stingrays. Nowadays, that everything's so captive bred and so many generations bred already, the maximum size is a lot smaller than what it used to be. All right, I've got females and males that are ready to breed, it looks like, and they're like between 12 to 14 inches, where it used to be the wild ones I would have to hit to like, 18, 20 inches before they breed.
To breed.
Sylvester asked, do you have any plans on going to, what is it called? I don't want to say it wrong.
Phuket, Thailand?
Phuket, Thailand, yeah.
If we go to Thailand, it wouldn't be Phuket. We would probably stay in the Bangkok area and travel out to all the other farms. And depending, where we can find, exotic fish. But yeah, Phuket is more of a tourist destination.
Yeah, ODK Rod always has the fun messages. What did he say? Good stories. Thanks, Odu. Have a good night. I think you're leaving, right? Was it 01DK?
Any other questions, guys?
Damn, it's 6:48 already. It goes quick.
Hey guys, what is the smallest sturgeon species you guys can get?
Probably the sterlets. We should have some albinos coming soon. If I catch a shark, do you want them? Jason, why don't you send me a message? I don't know where you are, but depending on where you are and if it's allowed, I would be interested in talking to you.
Paul just asked before about the membership, and he's a member now. Paul Sherping.
Oh, Sherping.
Welcome.
We got to do something for the members, John. Let's do something cool tomorrow.
Down.
Just show them everything's actually all right for the members. Tomorrow we're gonna do a live, and I'm gonna show something that we got here that I haven't shown to anybody else.
All right. Let's do
it was actually a rescue that was donated to us, and I gifted to Fajai.
I'm just, Sue-Ann said something. I'm just curious. John is playing that sleepy time music again. I'm just curious what it sounds like.
Yeah,
you want to put the headphones on?
Last week, somebody said it was elevator music.
We should, what we should play one day?
Dude,
we should
honestly,
play.
I put on a random playlist on.
John,
just play some like hard rock or something.
one day we should play
AC/DC or
the
something.
songs that you play. One day we should find like some old music from Fajai when he was a DJ.
We could put a set list together. I don't want to play anything too crazy because then it's going to become distracting when you guys are talking. Or I could just cut the music.
Feather mix. And who got the nurse shark? So I had a friend that reached out to us, and I gave him all the bigger saltwater species that we had because, one, we didn't have the proper tanks, and we needed more tanks to start receiving Kevin Stingrays back, and it was just not fair for them to keep him in the small environment that they were in. So I knew they were going to a good home. I gave it to him. Now we want to start again with smaller species, and those fish are going to be too big for it. So I want to get the smaller bonnetheads, smaller black tips. We got the shark that we got, the zebra, and probably not overload that tank because we want to have as much space for these fish to grow. If we get something crazy, like remember last time we got offered a panda, giant trevally. Can you imagine that thing swimming in that tank?
Yeah, that would be nice.
So we're gonna leave the space in that tank for like super rare animals, like we have the albino sharks before. I do have plans to get like a giant octopus. So it really depends on how we're moving along, but ideally, yes, we want to get like the rare of the rare. Would you get in a tank with a giant octopus?
Bigger than me?
Probably.
I don't know. I would have to study and understand their behavior first. I mean, in general, most animals would be afraid of you when you enter the water. Right. So as long as it's one of those things where, okay, the octopus is just gonna go and hide, but if he comes out and wraps himself around me, then no.
Well, but you're not gonna know until you're in the tank.
Well, if you know their personality, if you know how they behave, then your odds are better.
This is what I think. I think the moment you feed him and he grabs the food, he might, wrap on your arm, but then let go and go on with the food. That's wishful thinking.
Yeah.
Mr. Payne, welcome to Monster Fan. We got another member in the house. Welcome. Everybody say what's up to the new members.
What's up, buddy?
Paul and Mr. Payne.
What's up, Mr. Payne?
What's up, guys?
What was it? I was told they need like 2 pounds of salt per 100 gallons. I just wants to know if it's true. Who?
No, Avery. He was asking about diamondback sturgeons. Do they need salt?
Oh,
And then I guess we missed it. But now he's saying somebody told him. I don't know who told you that.
honestly, I've heard even for other fish as well, salt is good, right? I don't think it's necessary, but it's good. Even for the paddlefish, when we were acclimating them, the breeder told us to put salt in the tank. You know, sometimes when we get peacocks, they say, hey, they do better when you put salt in the tank. So I always thought that keeping the low salinity is good for all fish, in my opinion. But how are you going to keep that low salinity all the time? That's the question, especially like for us here when we're doing water changes every day.
I think you have to understand what you're using it for. Okay, that amount of salt I've seen before in a lot of koi forums talking about it as a therapeutic treatment. Salt is used in fish that newly arrived to help prevent ick and to help with osmosis and purging ammonia out of their system. But to keep it long term, I don't think it's good. And like Rod was saying, every time you do a water change, the salt level's jumping up and down. I think the constant fluctuation is worse. But if you're using it as a temporary treatment for like a week or two or whatever, that's fine.
But some people
not
don't
long
do
term.
water changes all the time.
But still, it's not long term. Anything long term loses its effectiveness. Even medication.
Right.
You know?
But see, like I think adding to the tank and leave it in the tank benefits the fish.
Okay, so let's say
you
like
don't think
ick.
that.
Let's say like ick. Okay, people use salt to help fight off ick in their tank, but if you constantly do it, don't you think eventually it would evolve?
No, it's not an alien.
No, it will. It
Look,
will.
I had a scenario where I took a flower horn covered in ick in Florida and I dumped in the saltwater tank, complete saltwater.
Yes, but that's extreme. We're talking about a mild, constant dose.
So a mild dose would prevent the ick from blooming.
Maybe initially, but over time, with the constant fluctuation, they can get used to it.
Then they're at that point they're brackish. They're not freshwater. That's why
It will change.
If you do, I don't think they change because saltwater ick won't live in freshwater and vice versa.
Yeah.
But maybe with millions of years when we're not here anymore, then the ick can start creating legs. I don't think fish. I honestly think that saltwater will die in freshwater. Freshwater will die in saltwater. Because I even had that problem. I told you when I had the saltwater tank, all the fish were dying from an unknown parasite. And I had people come over and look at it because in Florida we were getting water from the ocean, right? We had a guy that delivered the water. So every time he delivered the water, parasites that were in the ocean could be in our tank as well. That's the only problem. So what I used to do for that tank, I had filter water. I used to just fill it up with filter water. So every time like evaporated, I'll fill it up, a few inches of just fresh water. One day, like usual, I opened the fresh water and I forgot. And I left. So I come in the next day and there's water all over the floor. And the saltwater tank was basically fresh water. There was minimal salinity in that tank. Like I put the thing to read and it was all the way down. And all the fish were alive, but the parasites died. So when I filled it up with salt water again, there was no more parasites. But every time I got it again, the water from the ocean, parasites will come back.
Understood.
So what I did is I kept my salinity very low, like 18. And all the fish and all the sharks, everything lived, but the parasites did not. So I do believe that the fresh is fresh and the salt is salt, and it won't. Unless they some evolution with a few million years.
But we're talking about a mild dose here. 2 pounds per 100 gallons. It's not going to register.
2 pounds. 2 pounds is decent.
It's not going to register.
No, it's not going to register.
It's not going to register.
I think you can even go more.
Of course, for treatment, but I don't see a point to maintaining it long term. I've done it all, and I saw no positive or negative results. It didn't do much for me.
01DK donated 20 Danish kroner. We appreciate you. Should be in bed, right? It's like 1:30. He said.
Avery says, so I can stay
Appreciate it.
away. Sorry, John.
That's all right.
From salt in sturgeon pond. I don't think we should give it that.
Well, the question is, who told you to put the salt?
Maybe sturgeon people.
Okay. So if
Look,
a
the
sturgeon breeder
paddlefish
told you
guy-
to do it, then by all means
Paddlefish
listen to
guy
them.
told us that it would be good to add it to the paddlefish tank.
Long term,
Well, every time we did a water change.
how much?
I don't remember. He
Yeah,
texted to
so-
me. So I think it might be worth it.
I did it with the rays. I did it in the beginning. I did it because I'm trying to.
The rays, I don't think it might be bad for them because they're right there on the salt, sucking in the salt. Unless you
Well, no, once
dissolve
it's
it
dissolved,
first.
yes. But I'm just saying it didn't do anything for him. Let's see. He's saying I feel like that's like antibiotic. They can only work for so long till they stop working. So like I said, it depends on what you're using it for. Is there a reason why you want to put the salt? It's usually generally for a therapeutic reason. And if there's no reason, then there's no reason. Like Suen saying, I've always found heat to be the best treatment for ick, right? So have I, honestly. But most people do a combination of heat and salt and some type of medication.
Hey, John,
Yo.
you see that comment from Facebook, Zach Rodriguez, what up, big head?
Yeah.
Talking about you and me.
His wife gave me that nickname.
His wife? Oh, okay.
Oh, sheesh.
Yeah. But we're friends.
All right, we got one more question, and then we'll wrap it up. It's a sauna in here.
Oh, we have the fan, bro. We're in style. Zach is laughing. I don't think salt hurts. Oh, look, before we go, when I was in Florida, I did an experiment. I took an Oscar, right, that just freshly imported Oscar, and I put him in salt water, and you see like flukes coming out of his body. And then I took a grouper, a little small blue line grouper or something like that, and I put the grouper in full fresh. It had to be hundreds of flukes coming out of the body, like through the head, through the gills, through the skin. It was so crazy that you start like itching yourself. So if we didn't do that treatment, that fish would live with
So
that.
again, if you're doing it for a reason to treat something, then it's fine. But I don't believe in keeping it long-term, mild dose. That's what I'm saying. So
You don't
every
believe that.
example that you
But
said was
look,
for treating something,
Right.
Right.
But
For
maybe
killing this,
breeders,
killing that.
maybe breeders, like for example, people that are breeding peacocks, right? They might keep it a little low salinity just to prevent it from blooming.
Okay. I'm not going to argue with it. I'm not there. I don't
I
see what
can't
they're
say
doing.
it. I just think that, in my opinion, for what I could see, it does work. But I don't agree here for us, for example, because we do so much water change, you have to keep adding salt nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't make sense.
Avery's thanking us for arguing over his question.
Well, it's good because we don't agree on everything,
Yeah.
right?
No.
So it's good that we go back and forth. Mountaintop Puffer said, "Hey, I caught him on live finally, right when I'm about to log off."
You got 10 seconds.
I know. It's just Kevin has to feed. I got to watch the kids. The girls are going next door. I got them a kickboxing class, so hopefully they'll enjoy.
Oh my God.
We're live every Thursday,
Just
though.
bounce
Every
back.
Thursday, 6
Avery
o'clock.
said there's no reason That's just what the supplier told me. Supplier. So a lot of wholesalers will say that because, again, when they bring in fish newly imported, they throw in salt as a therapeutic to help the fish recover and rebuild their slime coat from the stress of shipping and all that. So that's why wholesalers use salt a lot. But it's just a temporary solution for their situation.
My recommendation is if you have fish in your tank that it's okay with salinity, some catfish can't take it, and you're not doing water changes, all the time, I would do it. I would do it in my tank. Same thing with fresh salt water. I would keep my salinity down and keep the sharks, the eels, the groupers. They'll be fine. I don't know anything about corals, so I can't say it will work for that as well. But definitely the predatory fish, I've had it and they did fine. All right, so I have to go take the girls. Let's stay tuned for the members tomorrow. We'll do the live, and you guys should have an unboxing video. We have shipments coming in this weekend. Is it confirmed?
Saturday.
All right, so we got a shipment coming in Saturday and one coming in next week with a lot of cool fish, and we'll have the unboxing videos up for you guys. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, or if you can catch a crazy fish, or if you found a crazy fish, feel free to message us. Someone in Florida on Mother's Day caught a yellow gar and called me, and I went there and he gave it to us. So, if you see something crazy, if you see something, say something, just like the airport. Love you guys. See you next time.
All right, take care, guys.